on vinyl community and Kiss Army? Welcome to another video with the record spinner. In today's video, I am going to be doing an unboxing of the Kiss Can-Am Tour 1977 Volume 2 Picture Disc Box Set. So this is the latest offering from the Kiss bootleg gods, where you get some shows pressed on picture disc vinyl, along with a nice booklet and all kinds of other memorabilia. This time around, it is centered on the American leg of Kiss's Love Gun Tour from the summer of 1977, and fittingly that it is dubbed Volume 2 because this is a follow-up to the original Can-Am Tour 1977 box set that came out several years ago, and I did an unboxing of this if you want to peel back and check it out. And I am super eager to dive into this set and see what entails. And as always, I got to give credit where credit is due. I got my copy from Brian's Kiss Vinyl on Facebook. He is my go-to source for all of my Kiss bootleg wants and needs. Given that all this stuff comes from Europe, he is the one reliable seller based in the US that you can get your hands on this stuff. So be sure to join his page, and when you do, be sure to tell him that the record spinner sent you. Enough of the chit chat, let's jump into what this video is all about, and just like so, I will be switching angles. Alright, and here we go. Okay, so here is the front of the box. Features a great live shot of the band from '77. And when this first came out, I was initially kind of thrown off because I thought this was the name of the box set, US Love Gun Tour 1977, which could make sense given that this is what the set is focused on. But what kind of confirmed its title for me was just the spine, because it's literally the exact same as the original Can-Am Tour box, but to make it distinguished, they included a number 2 there. So that's how you know this is Volume 2. Flip it right over, you have the original Love Gun prop that came with the original album right here, and then they kind of did a modified rendering of it for it to say US Tour 1977. And listed here are all the tour dates that ran from August of '77 to September '77. And just to kind of point it out, we'll go into greater detail once we dive into the contents. This box set is literally centered on these two shows, smack dab in the middle of August of '77. Cow Palace in San Francisco on August 16th, and the Selland Arena in Fresno, California on August the 17th. And just to point out some other notable shows from this run, San Diego Sports Arena, that's where the gatefold of Alive 2 was shot. The 3 shows at the Forum were recorded for Kiss Alive 2. We have the 2 Summit shows here, which exist as pro shot videos. Also, I guess you can call them soundboards as well. And then the Fort Worth shows here, also soundboards. I believe those were included in the first Can-Am box set, along with a show from Montreal, which took place around either June or July of '77. So just some interesting things to point out there. Lid comes up just like this. And inside, we have the goodies. So first up, we have a Kiss Love Gun ruler, which is interesting. I think this is only in centimeters, so you can't really measure in inches. And if it's over 20 centimeters, then you might have to get a different ruler. But nonetheless, this is a cool sort of novelty thing. This is the kind of stuff you would come to expect out of these sort of box sets. And then we also have a puzzle here, which makes up this photograph here. So there it gives you a sort of reference that you can go off of. And for those that are wondering what this puzzle makes, there it is right there. I'm going to keep this intact. I have no intention of putting this together, but it could make for a good frame piece. Would be cool. And we also have a fold-out poster, which looks like this. So this is from the same photo session that the front of the box is from, and I believe this image is relatively well known as well. I think this this live shot was used on the cover of the Kiss Gold compilation that Universal had put out in the mid-2000s. There's your Kiss geeky minutia right there in terms of where some of these photos have appeared multiple times, but it is a great poster. And then here is a sort of Love Gun mobile sort of 3D kit that you can sort of cut out and assemble. I believe if you watch what is it? Dick Clark had hosted a show towards late '77, and he was actually standing next to a much bigger version of this sort of model when it was assembled. It looks really, really awesome. So it kind of gives it a 3D thing because you could put it up against this backdrop, and there you have the band as well as the ladies from the Love Gun cover. It's a pretty cool thing to have replicated here. And now let's dig into the contents. So all the picture discs, I'm going to set that box off to the side, come in their own individual jackets as well as in this resealable bag. So let's dig our way in. Let's take this out. Okay, so all of the sleeves and vinyl were sort of shuffled out of sequence in the resealable bag, so I quickly took a second to sort of reorganize them in the correct running order. But nonetheless, let's dig into some vinyl. So here is the show from the Cow Palace in San Francisco on August 16th, 1977. Indeed, the day that Elvis Presley had passed away. And just before Rock and Roll All Night, he dedicates the song to the king of rock and roll. There's the late great Ace Frehley there on the front. And he also appears on the vinyl. Now, this is a fantastic soundboard recording, which sounds great. This is one I'm very fond of because even back before I started to collect Kiss on vinyl, I used to just download bootlegs online, burn them on CD, and make covers. And this was one of the shows that I always kind of would revisit a lot of the time because it sounded so good. And I had this in my collection under the name 10 Million Kiss Fans Can't Be Wrong, which is an obvious nod to the Elvis album of the same name, roughly. And the cover was cool. It had Gene appearing in multiple different sizes, just like the Elvis cover. But that release is relatively old. And the thing with these Kiss bootlegs is, you know, the older they get, the more they appreciate in value. And believe it or not, it had some value to it. So I was more than happy to trade it off to get the box set. And it sounds really great. The only downside, and you'll see with the track list on the Paul LP here, is that it does not have Beth, whether that's down to the song not being performed or it wasn't captured on tape. It's technically incomplete just by one song, but nonetheless, it is still a great recording. Great shot of Paul on the front of the sleeve, as well as on the vinyl. And I also love how the back halves of these picture discs are designed, how you have the Kiss logo in blood, just like it appeared on the printed inner sleeve of Love Gun, and you have the renderings of each band member as they appeared on the Love Gun cover with the right font and everything. It looks absolutely tremendous. As always, regardless of like sometimes the sound quality of some of these sets, it's a real hodgepodge. Sometimes it's crummy audience recordings, sometimes you might get lucky with some soundboards, but the one thing is, the packaging is always consistently great. So that's a San Francisco show. And now we move on to the Selland Arena in Fresno the following day on August 17th. And this is an audience recording that sounds okay. But here's the funny thing. So this show was actually reissued recently by Casino Records under the name Superstars of 77. And roughly like 10 years ago, Casino had first put it out on colored vinyl, but of course, to kind of keep the values intact, the second edition on picture disc had a completely different cover and everything. But the thing is, the show itself is incomplete. It kind of misses like the middle of the show, and you can fit it technically all onto one LP. But because, you know, with these sets being 4 LPs tops, you know, obviously one for each member. See how you have Gene on the front. They spread this out over 2 LPs just to kind of keep it in line with the others. So, funny enough, because I had purchased that Superstars of 77 second edition picture disc and then just traded that back in just so I can pretty much buy it once again, but this time doubled in the amount of vinyl. But that's the crazy thing when it comes to collecting. It's just one of those things you sort of have to bite the bullet on. And then here's Peter, featured on both the vinyl as well as the jacket. Overall, really good stuff. And I'll have to double check, but I think by obtaining this set, as well as just getting that Fresno show in general, I think I have all of the Love Gun Tour bootlegs that circulate. I'm going to have to double check. Maybe I'll do a separate video on those recordings. We shall see. But that's all for the vinyl. But of course, we have one more very important facet of this box set. and that is the booklet. And here, I'm going to tilt the box a little bit just to get it out. And let's dig right in. Also, I should mention too, I just thought of this while looking at the front of this booklet. The San Francisco show also came out under the title Hydraulic Rock, and I believe the cover image is either this photo or a similar shot taken from this photo session. Just wanted to point that out. But it's a great cover photo. And then here we have some individual photos along with a quote from the Tucson Citizen. Great shot of the band right there that we've seen several times before. And then it breaks down all of the shows from the tour from August to September of 77. So we have various press clippings, even set lists and reported audience numbers, support acts, promoters. This kind of goes pretty nicely in depth for each show, which is great. Then we get to Billings, Montana. Great full shot of Gene. Here, look, we have a ticket stub, some photos and flyers. Rapid City, great shot of Gene doing his bass solo. Spokane, Washington, cool shot of Ace during the smoking section of his solo. Ah, this is cool. We have some slides here, which are always fun to see. Then we get to Seattle. Then we get to Portland. Lots of great photos and ticket stubs. Ah, that's a great shot of the levitating drums and the members on their hydraulic platforms. That is great. Here's a nice spread for Paul. There he is on the platform during Love Gun, towards the end of Love Gun. Oh, okay, so then we have some screenshots from when Kiss did an interview with Allison Styl for Nightbird, obviously without makeup and their backs to the camera. I've seen some video clips of this interview before, but that's included there. That was the day before the August 16th show. That's included in this set. There's some attendees wearing Kiss makeup, which is great. Oh, geez. Some great... If these are amateur shots, these look pretty freaking awesome. Featuring the full stage production. That looks great. And then here's the Selin Arena show, which is indeed included in the set. Move on to San Diego. Again, like I mentioned, that's where the gatefold shot of Kiss Alive 2 was shot at. Here we have a spread for Peter. Ah, there's the photo session that I was talking about. And as you can tell, they obviously kind of touched it up with all the extra flames and such. But nonetheless, it is still a badass photo shoot. Also, I love this picture here. You can see how massive looking that lighting rig is. I mean, obviously, it's nothing in comparison to the sort of high-tech prowess of modern technology. But that just looks so huge. Hell, you can still see it in this image, too. It just looks tremendous. Here's another cool flaming shot there. There's Paul giving the point. Then here we have some other outtakes from the photo shoot for the front of the box. And looking at these documents, I'm not sure if these are contract writers or arena specifications. Okay, so it kind of digs into the sort of the needs that that Kiss needed to put this stage show on at any given arena. So those look kind of interesting. I'll have to dig my way through those. There's Paul's signature Ibanez model based on the Iceman. There's Paul's outfit there. Then we get to Phoenix. Great shot of Peter during the drum solo where the fireworks come out of his drum riser, which is really cool. Then we get to the shows from the Forum in LA, obviously recorded for Kiss Alive 2. Ticket stubs and reviews and press passes, photo passes, I should say. Great stuff. Then we get to the Summit in Houston. Both films circulate as pro shot videos. I believe the show from the second appears on Kissology Volume 1. The show from the first obviously circulates as well. Then we get to Fort Worth. And there's a soundboard of this show as well that appears in the first Can-Am box. Various ticket stubs. Great spread of Ace. Kind of looks like an outtake from the photo session for the front of Alive 2. Here we go. Here is the original ad for the Love Gun album. And then here is the Love Gun vinyl discography. So it breaks down all of the various different pressings of the album from the US, South Korea, Brazil, Japan with all the different obies, Germany. All kinds of interesting stuff here. That is really fun. Okay, and then we also have various colored vinyl pressings. I know I have that Walmart. I got that Kiss Online Gold. Don't have that that picture disc from Kiss Online though. Really would love that. And then that's the purple vinyl pressing from the originals Japanese box. Another one that I would love. Great shot from the Mylar photo session. Here we go. USA Love Gun Tour bootleg discography, which are on CD. So it kind of breaks down all of the various CD versions that circulate for the shows from that tour, which is interesting. Then we get to the vinyl. Okay, so let's see. What do we have? So the audience recordings of the LA Forum shows appear on Sneak Attack, as well as Kiss Carton and Kiss My Axe. These are relatively well known. Then we have the I Was There picture disc box set, which I don't have. I have this sort of this silver vinyl slim version. And then here's that Superstars of 77 show for the Fresno show. There is Hydraulic Rock for San Francisco. There's the 50 million Kiss fans one. Can-Am Tour box. Here's the two shows for the Summit, which I don't have. They deserve a repress. They really do. Hey, how about a Houston 77 Chronicles box? How does that sound? That sounds cool. And then we have Gene and oh, geez. This was already folded. God damn. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, won't you look at that? They didn't even cut it. That's pretty funky. Interesting. Huh. Anyways, moving onward. Do I keep this folded, I guess? I mean, because look. Technically, you're supposed to, like, cut this. Get that excess off. I really don't know. Anyways, that's rather interesting. And then we have a little collage of press clippings here. There's a shot of Ace and Paul during Rock and Roll All Night. And that is that. There's the tour dates listed again. And of course, at the bottom of every picture disc box is the Kiss Army logo. And there you go. That is the box set. So there you guys go. That is my unboxing of the Kiss Can-Am Tour 1977 Volume 2 Picture Disc Box Set. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the records spinning.